5 top tips for preparing for marriage. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 things you should do to prepare yourself for marriage. Just like any other journey or any other thing you do in life, you need preparation into marriage. That's very important. The average person is said to go into marriage without any deliberate preparation, and we don't want that to be our situations. So you need to prepare yourself for marriage. But how do you prepare? So here are 5 things you should do. The first one is that you should know your life's vision. What is a life vision? Life vision simply means, what is your whole purpose on earth about? What is your life all about? So if you get to live, let's say 70 years, 80 years, or God blesses you and you live 100 years or more, what is that one thing that your life is you are living your life for? Now this is very important, because knowing your life vision will help you to determine who is a good match, who is a good spouse, who will be a potential marriage partner for you, because you know where you are going and you know who will be a good help to get there. Now, how do you find out your life vision? How do you know what your life is all about? I have a video I'll link down below that gives step-by-step process to identify the purpose of your life. So that's my tip number 1. Now, tip number 2, you need to also learn accountability and transparency. This is so important. Now, why is this important? As a single person, you are used to going out. I remember when I married, during my first year, I realized that my wife was complaining often about my trouser. According to her, it was too big for her liking. And I was like, no, this is what I've been wearing all this while when I was living a single life. What's your problem? And then over time, I got to learn that, well, it's not about what I have been doing. I need to now live to please her. So as a single person, you are used to going out when you want, coming back when you want, keeping friends that you choose to, and making a lot of decisions without maybe anybody's input. But now the game changes when you get married, because now here you are with somebody that has a say in the things you do, has a say in the clothing you wear, has a say in the friends you keep, has a say in the places you go and the time you come back. And that is not being controlling at all, because that is what marriage is about, living to please your spouse. So beginning now, you should begin to learn how to be accountable and transparent. And how do you learn that? Here are my few advice that you can put in place to help you learn transparency and accountability. First of all, get someone that you really respect and revere, and intentionally make yourself accountable to that person. Let's say this week you plan of going out and coming back at a certain time. Then you won't tell this person that, oh, I'm going out today, I'm going to see this person, I'm going to see that person, I want to be back exactly 9 o'clock. Please check up on me to see if I returned as I promised. Now, as you do this, you are learning to be accountable. You are also learning to be transparent. And eventually, when you get into marriage, transparency doesn't become an issue for you in your marriage. Okay, so let's go for the next tip. The next tip is to study about marriage. This is very important. Now, the average person goes into marriage without reading any book about marriage or taking any course about marriage, and this can be very dangerous. So at least get some books on marriage, read about marriage, study things like the basic differences between male and female, study things about communication, study things about how to manage conflict and disagreement. These are things you should learn. Now, I mentioned basic differences between male and female. By far, most conflicts in marriages come because of this, because the woman doesn't know what the man's priorities are, and she's furious why the man is not concerned the way she's concerned about certain things, or the man thinks that this woman is too emotional, why can't she just be a little bit more like him. And these issues bring loads of conflict. So you do yourself very a good service to just read about what are the differences between male and female, what are the priorities of males, what are the priorities of females, what are the weaknesses of male in general, and what are the weaknesses of female. So this is a very important tip about studying on marriage. Studying marriage, read about marriage, talk to people who have been married, let them share their experiences with you. Now I'm going to move on to the next tip. This tip is about finance. Get yourself prepared financially. This is very important. Now, although money is not the motive for marriage, a lack of money or lack of it can bring many problems in marriage. So how do you prepare yourself financially? Even if you're a student, let's say you're a full-time student, find something doing, something part-time. Maybe you are very gifted at teaching. You can organize some private classes, some private tuition for people, and begin to save a bit. It's not about how much you are earning, it's about having some money down for the marriage itself, not for the wedding, but for the marriage. That's so important because the real marriage begins after the wedding. So this is so important. Okay, last but not the least, this next tip is to work on your character flaws. Work on your character. This is very, very important. Now, I agree that no man is perfect. So your spouse will not be perfect and you also will not be perfect. But there are some character traits that can be very threatening to any marriage. So work on your character. Work to be the best that you can be for your spouse. Whether you've met your spouse as yet or you are yet to choose somebody for a spouse, make sure you be the best that you can ever be. Now, how do you work on your character? Now, the first thing is to be very honest with yourself. Sit down and really look at your life and see the areas of weaknesses. You have to be honest with yourself and transparent to be able to do that. Now, once you've been able to identify areas of weaknesses, maybe you are very quick-tempered and maybe you are someone who is lazy, and these are things that you can work on. Anybody can work on their character. First, identify the character traits that are negative, and then begin to work on them. Take the scriptures, talk to people who are strong in those areas, find people who will help keep you accountable, and so on. So this is very, very important because bad character will end up breaking a marriage, and I don't think anybody wants that for their marriage. So here are my 5 top tips. I hope you enjoyed this and you like this discussion. Let me know your comments below. What are your top 5 priorities to consider when you are preparing for marriage? I'd really like to know what people think. And don't forget once again to like this video and subscribe to this channel. That will help us bring to you more content that we'll be putting up. And we hope to see you in the next video where we'll be talking about other areas of marriage. Until then, stay blessed.